it is time to review to you an anime movie. And oh boy, by a recommendation, something I was planning to watch anyways, but I totally forgot that I already downloaded way ahead of time, weeks, probably months before then. I totally forgot about it. And that is the Mrs. Kobayashi Dragon's Maid movie, A Lonely Dragon Wants to Be Loved. Yes, someone in the comment section, you know who they are, told me to review this movie. And I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I did download this movie. I totally forgot about it. I do that a lot. I download a lot of anime shows and movies, and because of that, I sometimes forget that I downloaded them, and I don't end up watching them like months or even years down the road. Man, that's how crazy it is. I do that to archive things just in case things happen on the webs, very precious, beautiful anime might just disappear one day because copyrights or whatever. I do that. But anyways, this viewer wanted me to review this movie, and here I am. And this movie, believe it or not, to me is the conclusion to season two. And you might scratch your head, what do you mean, Mad? What do you mean? You see, as a manga reader, and I've been reading this author's work for years before they even created Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I was reading their work since they were doing Ojojojo. Yes, Ojojojo is one of my personal favorite works of theirs. In fact, it's a prequel to Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. But there's a lot of actual prequels to Kobayashi's Dragon Maid because all the work they do is in a shared universe. It just happens in different places in different timelines. So anyways, enough about that. Let's talk about this movie. But yes, this movie originally was supposed to be a part of season two, in my opinion, because of how things play out in the manga. But they were able to paste it in a way. So that's one thing I did like about the anime of Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, is that it felt too episodic, and like they just cut out the plot that actually is happening within the manga series, which they did do and stuff. For instance, they didn't really talk about much about the factions of the Order faction of Harmony or the Chaos faction or what the other dragons were up to before they met Kobayashi and stuff like that. And so they cut some things out to make it more a mundane, episodic kind of show. They did, especially in season two. So I was like, that's why when I reviewed season two, I said I was kind of disappointed because there was supposed to be this main plot in this arc, but they never showed it. But here it is. It's in the movie. Like, okay, thank you. They still cut some things out, but they did that for the sake of the movie. So the story focused on Kana. Kana as a child. She is a child in the human world, and she is a child in her own world as a dragon. She leads a carefree, mundane life. She lives with Kobayashi and Toru and Ilu, and she enjoys going to school, hanging out with her friends, trying to see if there's any weird wonders going around, like using a voice recorder and stuff to record the aliens and everything. Kid stuff. But she never really done this before. Originally, she is a dragon from the Chaos faction. And we are from the Chaos faction. Dragons, even hatchlings, aren't seen as children. They're seen as comrades. Someone else to add to the war or battle efforts that's happening. So because of that, she had a father who truly didn't understand what it means to be a dad, let alone a good dad. So because of that, she'd always try to cause chaos to get his attention, but never really worked until one day she absorbed something called the Dragon Spirit. And when she did that, it caused a lot of trouble for her, reason why she was exiled and she is now Kobayashi. So with this, she was able to understand other emotions that dragons can have, to understand what it means to coexist among other creatures. The problem is, dragons where Kana was grown up as lack empathy. When they're on a mission or battling something, who knows what collateral damage they have caused to get what they want or do what they must do in that world. So it must have caused a lot of innocent lives to be destroyed. But they don't care because they lack that empathy. And empathy doesn't mean being kind. It means trying to see another person's perspective in a way. That is empathy in a way. And that's one thing that a lot of dragons didn't understand until they went into the world of the human world. And no one's saying humans are perfect, but if you hang around the right one, you'll have a better understanding of what it means to have empathy and understanding of your fellow coexistence of other creatures. And that's exactly what happens. Fafnir, um, Luquilla, Washoda, and stuff, and even the one water dragon, that's Toru's rival. Even though she has no one she stays with, she loves food, and she works at Kobayashi's job for some reason somehow. But anyways, enough about that. Kana's father shows up for one and one reason only: to extract the power of the dragon's spear inside of her to fight against the Harmony faction. They're about to go against war, and their war chief is Azad, a human. Now, Azad is one of my favorite characters, and not just because of the movie, but because he plays some roles within future arcs that happens in Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. So he's a character that doesn't go away. If you notice a lot of characters that show up in this show, whether they're good guys or bad guys, most of the times always end up coming back and they're reformed in a way, showing that there's a way to reform certain people on their tasks and jobs. He is the antagonist of the show more than Kana's father is. Because in the movie, he is playing both sides, the Harmony faction and the Chaos faction. Because he wants to use his strategy to destroy much dragons as he can, because a long time ago, in his past, he lost his sister and his home to a dragon. Why the dragon was there, who knows? But all he knows is that it was there, causing destruction. And he realized this happens all over the world throughout his time. So he decided, hey, let's just get rid of these things any way he can. So he does that. He tries any way to get rid of them, mainly the best method: manipulation, causing the dragons to kill each other out. Realizing humans themselves can't take out these dragons, best way to do it is for them just slaughter each other. Basic civil wars, or regular wars, if you might think. So because of that, he has this pure hatred of dragons, but yet a sadness as well, where he's just doing this because he's just lashing out of everything that he has lost. So to him and Kobayashi are two different sides, and even Toru herself, where it's all about empathy, the perspective. To him, he's only seen the worst of dragons. So because of that, he can't stand them. He wants to get rid of them. He doesn't see creatures who can empathize or understand humans. And he believes they're only putting on a facade because they're just mimicking what the humans are doing. Toru is someone who just a long time ago in the story was battling a god, lost, and she met Kobayashi in a way. And because she met Kobayashi, she lived in that world, and she slowly starts to absorb and observe the humans of her world. And because of that, she starts to adapt and then also understand what humans are going through and stuff. So there's that. And of course, the other dragons go through the same process and adapt differently in Kobayashi's world. So because of that, Azad cannot understand the dragons he is dealing with are different compared to ones he's trying to destroy. They are smart, they are crafty, they can come up with strategies, just like Kana did towards the end of this movie, of how to catch him in his act. He's starting to see that dragons can adapt just like humans. They can fall in love, they can be upset, mad, they can see if someone else is in pain and see how their actions have consequences, as Connor herself. She wants to do anything she can to please her father, because at the end of the day, most children want to be pleased by their parents. That's the main thing children do. Their parents, sometimes in the world they live in, is all they have. So they want that vindication no matter what. That validation, whatever that word is. But anyways, she does all she can, but she also understands she still has a new family at home. So the show is well animated. It's well animated, and not just through the fight scenes. I know some people only care about this series because the fight scenes, but no, it's the characters. That's the main reason why I watch this or read this author's work, is because the characters. Most of the work that this author creates usually don't have a true story or driving plot. It's just these characters in this scenario and to see how they grow on each other. And that's what it is even for Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Kobayashi is a woman who lived a mundane, typical Japanese life, and she takes in these dragons and starts to open up more, start having a different perspective on life. And her very calm demeanor most of the times makes the dragons attached to her. They seem to understand her, and she understands them as time goes on. And it has a nice meaning. We all long for someone's love, someone's approval, but don't let that blind you for the people who already appreciate you in your life as you are now. Say you have this dad who's really in your life, or a mom who's really in your life, and you seek their approval because you still look up to them no matter what. But you have other people, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your uncles, aunts, even your friends who appreciate you for who you are, and you don't have to do much to get their approval, but you're trying so hard to get that other person's approval. And you pretty much at the end of the day might lose yourself within that because you not realize what's around you, and you might not know what you have until it's gone, as the song goes. But yeah, that's what Kana did. She knew what she had as well, and also what she wanted, and she wanted to have both either way without losing what she had in the first place. And that's what I got from this movie, a nice tie-in. It was so good, it kind of wishes that we would get ourselves a season 3. Why not? Sign them contracts, baby. Let's do another season of Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I can use one. I think the world can use one. But first, we gotta do Ruri Dragon first. When that one's gonna come out in anime, who knows? But I'm excited. So, anyways, that's all I got for this. A very good movie. I enjoyed it. It made me want to rewatch the entire series and then watch the movie towards the end. That's how I usually do things. When a movie or a new season comes out, I like to rewatch the material that came out already, just to prepare myself to watch the new stuff. I do that right now. I'm doing that with Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten and stuff, right? And I'm also doing it with JoJo. Yeah, I'm rewatching all of JoJo just to get ready for a Steel Ball Run and stuff. That's just how I do things. But anyways, that's all I got for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell icon. This is the Madcrownxox on Anime. Signing out.